Okay, so today I hit the 50-hour point in Fallout New Vegas, which also I hit level 30 in Fallout New Vegas, so I hit the level cap. And I've been doing side missions pretty extensively for the past 25 to 30 hours of gameplay. Um, Also, I just now finished the main storyline as well, and so I'm going to give my final verdict on the game. This is my final overall feeling on the game, minus bugs and all that. This is without any of that factored in. The way I feel about the game is this: as Fallout fans, because we just played Fallout 3 2 years ago, um, and we've kind of come to expect a certain level of writing skill involved in the creation of these games, which some people on the forums for Bethesda have said Fallout 3's writing was horrible and this and that. No, the writing in that game was brilliant. And I'm not talking necessarily about the dialogue, because the dialogue wasn't always great. It was the connection between quests and missions interconnected, so that pretty much every quest or mission was related to some other group of quests or missions. And most of them were tied into the main storyline as well, which was really, really cool. People, but it's kind of like people say the writing in Star Wars is shit, even though Star Wars is one of the most well-written movies of all time. Not because the dialogue's anything special, because it's not. I'm a Star Wars fan, and I'll tell you, Star Wars dialogue sucks. But in Fallout, the main the reason you kept playing the game was to see how this storyline ended or began, or where it got taken by the missions at hand. See, when you're playing Fallout New Vegas, nothing feels connected. Everything's separate. The best way I could explain it is that every story is an island. Everything you do is completely unrelated to everything else you do, and that's a bit of a bummer, especially to me, because I really wanted to like this game. And even like the first couple days I got it, I made that video on here bitching about how many bugs there were, which there are. I bought a new Xbox to try to counteract some of that, and I ended up just doing bug testing on the Bethesda forums and helping people find workarounds for them, but still hasn't been patched, and it's almost 2 weeks since the release of the game, but that's besides the point. Now, the main story itself, there's quite a few options in how you can have the main story end, but it doesn't feel very well thought out. And at the end, when you get to that point where they always end up dropping that "war never changes" quote, because that's kind of the whole message of Fallout: war never changes. It's like a total afterthought, and they throw it in there, and it just pisses me off as a fan, because that's like the most important part at the end of the game. That's the part you're waiting for. You want to see how they incorporate that into the ending credits, because that's what gives the game context. That's the important part. That's like, I hate to use another Star Wars reference, that's like the crawl in Star Wars. It's the stylistically the most important thing, and the thing you wait to hear, and it gives me goosebumps every time I hear it, except this time, in which case I was like, war never changes. What? Fuck you. But that's just my reaction personally, because I felt like they didn't really use it to its full potential. The addition of factions and stuff is cool. However, I think it actually ultimately takes away from the game more than it adds to it, because like when you were in Fallout 3, there was kind of a faction system there as well, except it was more implied than literal, because like the Brotherhood of Steel, you're technically building rep with them as you do missions. You just don't see on the screen how much they like you, which is kind of a good thing in that it's more realistic, and it gives the game a little greater sense of mystery and makes it so you don't really know what's coming. In Fallout New Vegas, you can predict the story the entire way, all the way through. What it comes down to is the one place Fallout New Vegas improves, or is better than Fallout 3, is gameplay, I guess, and that being like the actual shooting and combat is improved. because like the weapon add-on system and all that is cool. However, the crafting system is horrible in this game. I don't think I crafted a single thing, even at 100 repair. Why? Because they don't really give you any options to. And if they did, I didn't find them, and I played the game for 50 hours. So you'd think if they were there, I would have picked them up. That's just my opinion. The other issue I found with the gameplay was that you can really tell, and they admit this, Bethesda openly admits this entire game was created in a map editor, so it was created in their toolkit for creating Fallout maps or whatever you want to say, and there's no geometric sense to anything, and the entire game is like one color. Now in Fallout 3, the different areas or sectors of the map had a distinctive feel. There was east of the river DC, which was buildings and urban and looked like how you'd imagine a big city would look after being hit by a bomb, and that was so fucking cool. Everybody likes wandering around there, even though there's a lot of barriers and stuff where you can't go from here to there without going through subways or whatever. That subterranean part also adds depth to the game, and it makes you feel like this world is much bigger than what you see on the surface. However, in Fallout New Vegas, not only is the world exactly how you see it on the surface, it's smaller. Why do I say this? Because there is a lot of invisible walls. I don't think I ever saw an invisible wall in Fallout 3, not once. Every time there was a wall, there was some sort of visible terrain blocking it. In New Vegas, though, there's really nothing. Just a lot of invisible walls, a lot of clipping, a lot of geometry errors, and a lot of poorly produced maps. Also, none of the landmarks on the map really mean anything. I mean, they really don't serve any significance. And yeah, maybe you find a piece, like something here, something there, but ultimately they're disjointed and disconnected from the story. So there's probably 5 or 6 points in the game that you really need, and you could beat the whole game just traveling to these 5 or 6 points, which is really stupid. Also, the pathing to each place is totally inaccurate, and you're never going to find where it is you need to go. So I hope you have a computer, I hope you have the internet, and I hope you have access to the Fallout Wiki, because that's really the only way you're going to make it through this shit. So as far as the story and the main gameplay goes, that's really all there is to it. Overall, if I had to rate this game 1 out of 10, I think it'd be sitting at a solid 6 or a 6.5 if we're being real technical. The Fallout style gameplay had a lot of nostalgia appeal to me, and because I love Fallout 3 so much, it didn't really bug me that there's nothing really different about it, so that was good. Story, however, complete and total disassembly. You're not going to feel really any connection to Fallout 3 from this game, so don't expect to. Yeah, I mean, I'm so astounded that there's absolutely no connection to Fallout 3 in this game, when Fallout 3 had a rich backstory. I mean, there was a lot to it. Like, even the fact that there was only 2 major, factions in the game, that being the Enclave and the Brotherhood of Steel, you really felt the struggle between the two, and you really got an idea as to why they disliked each other, why they were battling. In Fallout New Vegas, you're just kind of given 1 point in geography, and you're told they're fighting over this because there's power there. Okay. That's fucking lame. Well, it's like, it just doesn't have any gravity whatsoever. So I'd say a solid 6 out of this game. I would not recommend anybody buy this game at the $60 price tag. For instance, I got a lot of play out of it. I got a lot of play out of it because I knew I was going to come back on here and do a review, and I love bitching. It's one of my favorite things to do. However, I bitch very well. Although I can be really fanboy-like in a lot of ways too. If something's good, I will say it's good. This, however, is solidly mediocre. It's exactly what I've come to expect from Obsidian. I played Knights of the Old Republic 2, and it was pretty much the same thing. So overall, I'd say don't buy this game until it ends up on the Platinum Hits section, and it will, because a lot of people mistakenly bought it. Thank you for watching.